Hello and welcome to another bullet journal video. This week, or this video, I should say, I'm making weekly spreads with erasable pens. Surprise! This video is using Parku brand erasable pens. I was kindly gifted them in exchange for a review of them and the promotion of them in my video. So here that is. I received the 6-color pack, which had colors, I'm swatching them all right now, in pink, purple, green, this orangey red, blue, and black, which was more of a dark gray or a charcoal than a true black. And as you can see here, I'm just testing the erasers on all of them. They work really well unless the ink is still wet, or you layer it on really, really thick, in which case the friction part might rip a little bit of the paper, but never like all the way through, just like the top layer off a little bit. So I'll talk a bit more about them as I'm making my weekly spreads. So here's the first one. I chose to do it inspired by each of the colors of the different pens. So for the first week, I chose the purple pen. And right here, I'm using a paint chip to decorate the page, a paint chip covered with dried pieces of paint. Like I paint on a mat, and and sometimes the paint goes over it. And so that paint layers up, and then I can rip it off the mat. And that's what those little shards of paint are. Let's talk a little bit more about the pens. The thing I liked the most about them was by far the shape of the tail, because it's really ergonomic, I think is the word. It feels really nice, and it's tapered, as you can see with the black pen sitting there, so it's really easy to just, like, scrape off a little. So here I am counting my spaces. I wasn't sure how many spaces I'd need, and it ended up that it varied greatly based by day, so I typically go from 6 to 8 to 9 spaces, depending on, how much space is really there, like whether I can fit one column or two, and all that good stuff. So as you can see here, I'm just, doing some lettering. It's faux calligraphy, so I go back in on the downstrokes to lengthen them, and I think it has a really nice effect. I really enjoy the way it looks. So here I was wondering what I should use. I asked people on Instagram for motivational quotes. So I was just looking through those, and I found one I thought that might fit there. But when I tried it, I ended up not liking it very much, as you'll see here. So I erased it, which was really nice. I ended up using these pens a lot in school, especially the black one, just for homework and stuff, because I like the way my handwriting looks better when it's written in pen, but I could very easily erase it. So the fun thing about weekly spreads is that you get to add all sorts of stuff to your journal. As you'll see here, I'm adding a tea bag, and I think that it's really nice to add the things that you like in life to your journal and kind of document what happened. So there's a ticket from a show I saw over the summer that was a really good show and meant a lot to me. So I like adding things like that, like tickets, tea bags, paint chips, paint scraps, or if you're painting something and you have some leftover, say it's acrylic paint that you've mixed and you don't want it to go to waste, just open the next page in your bullet journal and paint on it and find a way to incorporate that into your spread. It's so much fun, and it kind of makes it more of a game, You can also add magazine clippings. I use a lot of those, as well as maps or photos. I think it's really nice and personal when your photo is one that you took, but it's also fun to look on the internet. Pinterest is a good source, I know, for people, or Instagram. Just make sure that if you post photos of your journal that you obviously know where the photos came from if you didn't take them. Did I talk about magazine clippings? I think I did. Love magazine clippings. Really nice, especially for solid colored and nature-esque backgrounds. As well as playgrounds, playbills, programs, pamphlets, all that good stuff. So much fun to incorporate. Yeah. So while I'm working on the spread here, I decided I would, I'm just adding the final little touches, adding some little details like movement lines, and yeah, that is about it for the spread. I really enjoyed making it, and I thought it was a lot of fun. So yeah, shall we move on to the next one? Here we go. So for the next spread, I chose blue and kind of an aquatic theme. I had a lot of photos that I'd taken at the local aquarium, Monterey Bay Aquarium, and I really wanted to incorporate those into a spread. So I did. Again, I'm doing some faux calligraphy. I just really like the way it looks, and I think the blue pen was probably my favorite of the colors of the pens. It was just really nice, vibrant but not overbearing, all that good stuff. Yeah. So, I have a question for you guys. What do you guys do while you're setting up your spreads? I personally like to listen to podcasts. I'm a huge audio drama fan, as you know. For the last spread, I was listening to, or re-listening, I should say, to Wolf 359, which is one of my all-time favorite audio dramas, as well as the Penumbra podcast, and, just other shows like that. I would wholeheartedly recommend listening to podcasts, or, if it's morning, you need time to open your brain, music is good. If you really want to, spend more time thinking than listening, I would recommend lo-fi, like In Love with a Ghost, or, the lo-fi / chill hip-hop radio playlist / beats to study to. You know what I'm talking about, right, guys? The one with the girl. That is awesome, especially for homework. But yeah. And for this spread, like I said, I was really inspired by the ocean and by the aquarium. The Monterey Bay Aquarium, if you ever get a chance to go to it, has a wonderful jellyfish exhibit. So fun. And so I incorporated that by doodling a little jellyfish. And another good thing about erasable pens is that you can doodle without fear. You can doodle without being afraid that you'll mess up and have to, get a piece of paper or something and cover up the entire thing again. I felt a lot more free, especially in trying some new things that were maybe a bit more out there. And it just kind of makes it easier to take risks when you have something like an erasable pen. Yeah. So if you'll notice here, that I pasted in some, pictures with jellyfish. Like I said, I've taken all the pictures you'll see in the video, and then here I used them to create a little frame, and I ended up not liking the way some of the edges looked, so I just erased it, and I really like that. Usually when I do something like that, I have to find a way to fix it, and it's annoying, and I don't like that, but when I can just erase it, if there's such a quick fix, super easy. Would recommend using erasable pens for bullet journaling. So nice. I added a little quote here, go with the flow, because, ocean, water, flow. And then, yeah, I just incorporated, along with the dailies, a thing of this week and a thing of future, which I really like, because that way I can understand my priorities. And now we're on to the last one. I chose pink, because I wanted to challenge myself and get a little bit out of my comfort zone. Pink isn't really a color that I'm very familiar with or very, used to. It's not my favorite color, and I was really worried because the pink gel pen is very vibrant, which is obviously important if you're using a gel pen, but not really for, doing a lot of it. So as you can see, I just made a little swatch of the gel pen on the paper to make sure that all of my magazine clippings, which is what that is, and the map I had went with the color, and so that I could tell what it would look like, so that when I did my lettering, it wouldn't look too overwhelming. And that was a really nice thing to be able to have, because I didn't have to worry about it. I just like scribbled it on, and then later I erased it when I had to actually put useful things there. So that was really nice. I tried a lot of new stuff with this spread. I used magazine, which I haven't used in a while. And I also used a map, which is one of my favorite things to use, but I had forgotten about until I saw this magazine clipping that was basically the same color as the map. And as you can see, I'm using the erasable pen to mark where the things will go, and then later I go in and I erase it, which is something that's really useful. Also for this spread, I'm trying out trackers in my weekly spread, because I did not use my trackers in my monthly spread at all. I stopped after school started, things just got busy, and I didn't have enough time to flip back to that page. But when they're incorporated into your weeklies, you just you can record them super easily at a glance, and I really think that it's something that I'll start doing more in the future. So how I did that was I just listed out all of the days of the week, and then I did 3 habits that I was tracking, which were reading, finishing homework, and feeling hydrated. So I listed those out, and then I left enough boxes for me to draw a check mark, or what I ended up doing was a little leaf thing. Yeah. So I tried a new lettering style for this, again, because I was emboldened by the fact that they didn't have to be perfect. And I ended up really enjoying it. This is the weekly spread that I'm used for this current week that I'm recording this voiceover in. And the bold letters really made each day stand out without being too long or too overwhelming. And there was a little extra space left over beneath the Thursday section, because I didn't have as much homework as I thought I would that day. And that's okay. That's fine. But, you know, it would have been nice to find another photo or something to put there. That's my only regret for this spread. I love it. I noticed that the week before I made my weekend spread too small, so I made this one pretty darn big because I knew I would need it. Another thing that I've started doing in my weeklies is incorporating post-it notes to include additional information such as time-sensitive things or stuff about a particular class and anything that you really need or want. So I included those in this spread. I incorporated some of them, and I'm really liking the way I could do that. And there, I tried something, I didn't like it. I'd already set up the next month's spread. You're not going to see with Plan With Me for that because I didn't really film one, and there's only 2 spreads because I've not been using that very much. But as you can see here, I've experimented with a lot of things in this spread, and I didn't end up liking the speech bubble. I also didn't end up liking those arrows. I hated the way they looked, so I put them like that, and I'm really proud of the results. I enjoy it, and I would also like to thank Parku for sponsoring this video. Link in the description below for their products. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that it gave you some inspiration for doing more decorative weekly spreads, and that you have a lovely day. Thank you. Bye.